He went undrafted in 2019, was signed to the Lakers in a two-way contract, shot 37% from the three, averaged roughly 15 points in the NBA Summer League, and since the Lakers could use a shooter, it's possible he's also a diamond in the rough, waiting for his time to shine. And of course, we're talking about Zach Norvell. What is up, guys? It's your favorite coach's favorite editor, and I want to take 10 seconds here to give a shout out to our Instagram, where we take our concepts and ideas and put them to the test with our athletes locally. Also, if you haven't already, go ahead and drop a like, because those can help too. Anyways, let's talk basketball. Zach Norvell is well exceeding expectations and may well turn out to be an undrafted key piece for the Los Angeles Lakers. Of course, it's very early, so let's just start from the top so we can get the full context and profile for the rookie. And to do this properly, we'll start with high school and more specifically, what has consistently made him a great player and NBA prospect. Zach grew up in Chicago, where he had been an exceptional baseball player for years, until at a very early age he decided to fully commit to basketball and pursue a career. Of course, growing up and playing basketball in Chicago's South Side, Zach was truly able to develop as an athlete, because naturally you have to learn to develop a certain play style and mindset to succeed. And as Zach put it, only the hungriest dog wins. And I also might add that from a very young age, Zach's dad, who also happened to be a budding basketball star at one point, explained to him that basketball was a ticket from what would otherwise be a life of violence. Point being, we could safely assume Zach, of all people, has a perspective and drive most people can never understand. But let's move on, and I will say he had a relatively quiet high school career, playing limited minutes both his freshman and sophomore year, averaging just 13 points as a junior. As a senior, he began to play with Mac Irvin Fire, an established AAU team where he was able to develop as a point guard, which would ultimately lead to him being more versatile as a shooting guard. During his time with the organization, he even had a 53-point game in a showcase Las Vegas tournament. He finished high school 76th in ESPN's Top 100 ranking and was even nominated for the McDonald's All-American Game. We could assume this sort of finale to his senior year had raised his perceived stock value, which would ultimately lead him to being recruited by Gonzaga, which is where things get interesting. Although this first year at Gonzaga was rather unmemorable because, well, he was injured, this gave him plenty of time to learn what it takes to play college basketball from the inside. This included emphasis on building muscle and playing a better defensive style, which served him well. He followed this game with 28 points and 12 rebounds in a second-round defeat against Ohio State. And, well, the left-handed sniper finishes this season scoring 1.12 points per spot-up possession, which was in the top 14% of the NCAA. He averaged 14.9 points and shot 37% from the long range. Although this didn't make up for the ongoing trend of him and his less than exceptional defense, which rated in the 30th percentile of the league. Because, unfortunately, Norvell goes undrafted in the 2019 NBA draft before signing a two-way contract with the Lakers. But I know what you're thinking. It was in the thumbnail. Diamond in the rough, right? Well, he had a rather good first impression playing in the G League.
Tucker is a big-bodied, physical, long-armed guard that plays to contact.
And with 22 points and a highlight like that, already he's shown that he has some magic up his sleeves, but he's gonna have to show us he can be consistent with it too. So the good news is, the Lakers are off to a good start this season, but with that being said, with such a large portion of their cap space being used on Davis and LeBron, which also happen to be the biggest in the league, they're going to have to find productive pieces around the margins to make the team work, especially in the long term. I think it's safe to assume that utilizing and developing talent through their two-way contracts and G League system would be the obvious strategic move, and it will have to play a major role in developing their franchise, which can spell good news for the rookie Zach Norvell, kinda like it did for another diamond in the rough taking the league by storm. Zach isn't a finished product. As a matter of fact, very far from it. But that's kind of what makes him interesting. When he was asked about getting up for a game despite arriving at China at 5 a.m. just the day before, he said, "That's part of the job. I'm early in this process, but I understand that you can't have any excuses," Norvell said. "Just be mentally tough throughout the game, play team ball, that helps as well." Which is something you might hear from a 10-year-old vet and not some undrafted rookie. Some of the things Zach's already doing at a very elite level is shooting consistently from deep, His post game is actually surprisingly strong, at least when up against a smaller player. He's also a good free throw shooter and an exceptional playmaker. However, these don't dismiss the fact that he's going to have to develop his athleticism, work on his shot selection because sometimes they are certainly questionable, and of course his defense needs to improve as well. But finally, I want to add a little disclaimer. With all of this being said, we know how rare it is that any rookie has any sort of profound impact in the league immediately, especially after going undrafted. It does happen, which is kind of why we're here, an attempt to try to find them. We're not saying Zach Norvell is going to be the next Kobe anytime soon. He's not going to be the next Kobe, period. But we are saying that he might be the next player you've never heard of dropping 30 on your team. Zach Norvell has a great work ethic, basketball IQ, he's a competitor, he has a great story, and most importantly, he's a great guy, which is why I have my money on him. If you like videos like this, where we try to spot the next up-and-comers, no matter how obscure or unorthodox, I would recommend subscribing and go head over to our Instagram and give us a follow. We do a lot of the same thing, including training and scouting, but in person. From the gatekeepers of YouTube's basketball community and your favorite 10,000 subscriber hopefuls, Courtical Hoops, see you on the next one.